You ready?
Yeah, I'm following you. I don't know what
Okay.
we're doing.
How's everybody doing tonight? We have my friend Joni, and Joni does a talk show, radio show that's called Shop Talk. You can listen to it Friday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern on iHeartRadio or on YouTube or Instagram. I'm sending a special shout out. That was not a commercial. That was this
Appreciate that.
professional
Hmm.
lady reached out, embraced me, and gave me some good advice and even helped me in some areas. And so I just want to say personally, I highly respect you, Joni. I thank you. You look very lovely this evening.
Thank
And I
you.
have looked forward to having you on
I know,
just to
right?
talk. So what's going on?
Okay. I'm right here. I'm right here. I appreciate you bringing me on. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different for me, but hey, I appreciate it. And the name of the show is Shop Talk Radio 2020. I changed
Okay.
that up a little bit. So Shop Talk Radio 2020 for the
Okay.
people. Hmm.
Since I've been following you and listening to you, I was already impressed. And then when we had our conversation and interview, I left with the impression that you are not only diligent and business minded, but you're compassionate. But over the last month, just from my observations, I have seen you really take a lead role on calling on whoever is listening or watching you to begin to step up in their communities. And you're calling the younger people, I'll let you put an age on that, but the younger people, you're calling them to a level of accountability. And so tell me, I'm not going to say what the change was, but I believe, and if I'm wrong, I can stand to be corrected. There was a shift because you already about your business. You're already doing things to help the community. But I'm saying the last month, as I listened to you and watched your
Hmm.
guests, and even one time I heard about a 15-minute dialogue by you pleading with the community and young people, let's make a difference. Tell us about this.
Yeah. I think the shift was it was a different feeling for me emotionally. Now, when I'm speaking on the young people and speaking about change and let's, it has to do with the trauma of the killings of the black people, and then the trauma of missing children, missing even adults, young black uh, women are missing and stuff like that. So just a lot of trauma has been going on, and now it's shifted to my emotions. So that now it's just not the feeling. You know what I mean? The feeling was anger. You know what I mean? Now the emotion is more trauma. Like it's really passionate. As far as we just need to stop with the violence, and then also the killings against black people. It's just enough is enough.
Okay, so can you identify what you believe is the source of the problem?
You mean
This
as
is your
far as
opinion. This is your
you
opinion.
Yeah, you mean as far as the killings of black people,
Yes.
or just okay? Yeah, I just feel that that black lives don't matter. Not black young men, black men. I mean, they're shooting down our people, and it's right in front of our eyes. It's like it's not no longer like a movie anymore. It's reality. You know what I mean? And it's just like it's hurtful, it's painful, and it feels like to me, I have never been. I wasn't raised in the slavery days. You know what I mean? I wasn't back there. I wasn't there, but it feels like it today. It's not like I look at it as modern day lynching, but it's
Okay.
just with guns.
Okay. So, do you believe that one race or all races are against young black men? I'm just looking for a little more detail.
Okay, not all races are being gunned down.
Okay.
That's the difference. It's black people are being gunned down. Black men are gunned down or knee on their neck. You know what I'm saying? They're being killed out here. You know, so and it seems to be just the black race. I don't see no other race is being targeted. I'm not seeing it. I don't know if you see it, but I haven't seen, you know, it seems to be something against the black race. It's like a fight or a war going on.
Okay. So if you were speaking, like the president has a presidential address, because there are many different races that watch this YouTube channel. If you had something to share with whosoever watches this interview concerning the senseless killing, in particular, of young black men, what would you say?
Well, I would start by saying that they are our children, they are our brothers, fathers, uncles, our family, our community that is being taken away, and it's hurting families forever. And it seems like the justice that is not being taken serious to the point to, if you take a life, it has to be more than just a slap on the wrist and you get to go home and maybe choose another job if you get fired. So it just seems like it's not accountability held there. So
okay, so speaking, because I'm black, at one point I was younger and I have an open mind, and one of the discussions that I recently had with my friend who we're on a podcast together, we spoke a little bit about this, but my viewpoint to him was when I was doing wrong, I developed what a lot of people develop, which was no conscience. And so I know that all these things are against me, but every day I didn't wake up thinking the possibility of me getting killed, robbed, or sent to prison was a possibility. But in a discussion, I could say, yeah, all those are possibilities, but I couldn't live like that and do what I was doing. I'm taking that over now. I don't wake up every day fearing dying. Since I've been released, I've been helped by a whole bunch of different races, but I have to be cognizant that there is a problem. And so as I'm in this discussion with you, I'm not telling you something. I'm expressing what I'm going through in my thinking, because I see a lot of different young black men helped, but I'm also seeing a lot of young black men harmed. And so where I'm at in my discussions in the African American community, I need you to help me see if I'm not seeing correctly, because I love to address a problem, and there is a problem, but I'm looking for a solution. I'm not looking.
It's not a balance. Yeah. It's not a balance. I don't know if I'm explaining it.
You're explaining it. I'm saying,
it's not a balance.
How can we get, I'm not saying over. I'm not saying get over a murder. I'm not saying get over. I'm saying, how can we bring about change? That's why I'm just stating my thoughts are always, okay, I got it. I hear it. I see it. Tell me what I can do to affect change. And I'm telling you, I'm on board. But what I'm not going to do, I'm just saying what I'm not going to do is argue with somebody, get mad at you, and I don't have a solution. If somebody says, okay, what's your solution, Oliver? And so that's why I'm available, and I'm happy that you're bringing this up, and I feel comfortable discussing it with you, because you not only have sense, I know you care. But there's a lot
Yeah,
of people. There's a lot of people committing atrocity. I know you got to have some sense. You see
right. But
people
people
are
are not
hurting,
thinking.
right?
People are not thinking. You know, they're going off of action and impulse and adrenaline. You know what I mean? And things are happening, and it's happening to our people. It's happening to Black boys, and they're taking away our men. And it's frustrating. You know what I mean? It's like people need to get out and vote. Like when it's time to change the laws have to change in order for change. You know what I
Okay.
mean? We could
Okay.
go out there and we could riot, we could go out there and we could get angry, and we can go out there and we could protest. But then after that, we need to go and vote to get these laws changed. You know what I mean? And
Okay.
without the people, how are we going to win that vote? You know what I mean? So
That
it could start there.
that's one. What I would offer to this conversation might sound thrown off to somebody. I think most people fear what they don't know. And I'll just make it real simple. It's easy to do harm to people who I don't have friends that look like you. I don't go to church with people that look like you. I really don't know you. And the little bit that I know of you, it's not good. I think when I say dialogue, and I'm gonna be very specific, I think people need to expand their comfort zones and begin, because legislators are up here. Neighbors are down here together. And it seems like the only time neighbors come together is when there's tragedy,
right, and
or it's
trauma,
bad weather.
right.
And so what I'm saying, and I'm just throwing it out there, and I may get some bad feedback, but I'm gonna say this. If everybody in Missouri stays in the same little town, why wasn't y'all talking before somebody got killed?
Right.
I'm
The
saying
community
common
gotta
decency.
come.
Yeah, I'm not trying to
Right.
sweep nothing under the rug. I'm trying to say, you know, like I know. If you and I know each other and you do something to offend me, it's gonna take me more than a second to respond negatively, because I'm gonna consider, okay, I know Joni, but when I don't know you and you step on my toe, or I'm
Right.
scared of you and you just look crazy.
Right.
And so when you said the laws, I agree with that. I also think people need to begin to interact with people that don't necessarily look like you. We do it in business. You've been in radio.
We
I'm
do it
just
in
being honest.
business. I mean, what do you mean, like interact as far as
I'm saying that
people, or
what's
you, or as far
successful
as the
business,
police?
I'm saying period. A policeman is merely a profession. I'm saying when they take a uniform off, they still live in a neighborhood.
But
I'm
they only
saying-
come in our neighborhoods if it's trauma or tragedy. That's when they come, and then they don't come right away. They come, they take their time to come. So when it's
I'm with
trauma,
you. I'm saying beyond the neighborhood, no matter what neighborhood whether it's rich or poor, we have malls, we have restaurants, we have different organizations and schools where Black, white, Hispanic, Asians come together, but they don't associate. And I'm saying
Right.
there are police officers, there are government officials, there are gangbangers. They all at the high school football game.
Mhm.
I'm saying that is an opportunity to talk.
To talk. Yeah.
I don't need I'm just saying, I don't need a rally to speak to people at a football game. Because if your son is in the backfield and my son is the quarterback, we see each other at practice. There is not a police department or government legislators that their children don't go to school with other races.
Right.
But if we all just pull up in our vehicles and pick up our kids and go home but never speak to one another, I'm saying that is fertile ground for racism, tragedy, and misunderstanding. That's what I mean when I say fellowship.
That's what's going on right now with what's going on in the outside world, you know, with the killings and missing children and all kind of tragedy, you know, all kind of things that happen all around us. But then when the kids or businesses or people go into workplaces and they work together and they congregate, they're there for that moment to get along. They're with all races. So then when they leave, no, they're not going to be around those same races of people, you know. So I see what you're saying. You're saying it needs to be like a
there needs to
togetherness,
be more interaction.
A togetherness, yeah, interaction.
Because even if we look, and I'm not going to speak for your neighborhood, but we had my grandparents, they had an east side and a west side, basically made up of the same race. But the people who knew people on both sides, they never seemed to go to the party and get beat up or shot or stabbed. But it's I'm east side, you west side, and you the same race, but it's because you're not communicating with each other. So you see more the differences than the likenesses. And so what I'm doing, because that's where I always shut the conversation with a period for anybody. What are you doing? Okay,
Yeah.
Whatever problem you pointed out, what are you doing? So I'm going to answer that question first, and then I'm going to ask you that question. What I'm doing is I'm with the different races, whether it's young black men, whether it's older white men, whether it's Asians, whether it's Hispanic. What I do is, do you know anybody like the people you talking about? Because you have a whole lot of opinions of why they are the way they are, and they have an opinion of why you are the way you are. But I'm telling you, I talk to this race, I talk to them, and I see problems with everybody. And so I'm saying what I'm trying to do is expand your circle of influence, expand your comfort zone, and you might make a difference with the law. And what I tell the officers, hey, I understand on your job, they're saying that you guys need to be aware of this. I'm asking you, when you take that uniform off, why aren't you aware of other races? So I'm just encouraging you, when you take the uniform off, because they're going to tell you what to do with the uniform on. I'm saying as a man or a woman, if I'm speaking to a woman officer, when you take the uniform off, I'm saying, why don't you expand your comfort zone? Because when you get into a situation or a circumstance that you deem dangerous, you might look at it a little bit different if you were
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're saying they should engage with the community. But because I don't.
We are a community. I'm not telling people to go to this side of the city. I'm saying, come on, we in 2021.
Not with the uniform on. We need to see. They need to come in the communities. We need to know who are policing our communities. Okay. We don't even know who are policing the communities. We only know when they come in the community, and it's only going to be if it's a death or something like that. You know, it seems like I remember back when I was, back in the day, right, when policing has totally changed to today, where I knew a lot of the officers in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? We had relationships with the officers in the neighborhood. They spoke to the children. They donated to the children. They donated to the neighborhoods. They were involved. We knew Officer Brown or Officer, we could have a simple conversation with the officer. Just de-escalate if it get the rise, if the situation get too high, it could de-escalate, because I'm able to say my opinion or say, well, officer, could I ask you why you stopped me? And clearly he'll give me an explanation, or she'll give me an explanation. But today, you can't even ask a question. If you ask a question, you're out of line, or you're disrespectful, or you're, I don't know. It goes from 0 to 10. If you, ask a question, or you reach a certain way to get whatever they're asking for, or it's out of control.
So when do you, in your opinion, think that changed? The relationships between officers and the community. I'm not looking for a date, but generally,
you're not looking for a date. Okay, so generally, I mean, the lack of, I just think it's the lack of. What they did was, I think it changed when they bought other units from other communities or other states into our communities. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm looking for. Okay.
Yeah. So that's actually what changed. That shifted. So you got these other officers or other
with a different mindset
from Wyoming, or Ohio. I don't know. I'm just naming
Okay, I
like
understand.
Wyoming. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they come in with the brim hats, you know what I'm saying, the sheriff minded. You know, it's a whole totally different mindset when you come into
More military than community.
yes, right. No community. They coming in straight military.
More discipline than relationship.
Well, I'm not
The
saying
reason
you
I'm
have to have
saying
a
relationships, when I was in school, you had officers there not to protect, but just trying to help the kids.
right. You know what I'm saying?
Just stopping by
Like
the
they
business. So I'm
cared.
saying relational versus
Relational.
I'm here to protect the school. I'm
But not
looking
even
left and right to protect. Hold up.
right. It was both. It was balanced.
Okay.
When I had asked you earlier about the balance, you
Yeah.
talking about maybe balance.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. Like maybe, I mean, the officers today are so angry. Not all. Let me say this. Not all officers are bad. But what's happening lately and what has been maybe, I'll say the last 15, 20 years, it has changed.
Okay, let me ask you this. Now this is gonna be a stretch for you. You ready?
I don't know.
I'm saying it's gonna be a stretch, so take your breath. I want you for a moment and just work with me.
I
want
just
you
a
to put
citizen.
your mind.
Okay.
You are an angry police officer. I'm saying you, Joni, you are an angry police officer. I want you to do your best to explain to me why you mad. If you were an angry police officer, I want you just for a moment, work with me. Why are you mad?
I couldn't place myself to be one of those angry police officers that's upset right away or upset after the first 3 minutes of a citizen that you stopped or that you encountered, and you're upset in the first 3 minutes. You're mad because maybe the person asked a question. So I couldn't place myself to be that type of officer. If I was an officer of the law, I'm gonna be, my heart will be involved. I'm a caring type of person. So yeah, I will arrest you if I have to. Yes, I will do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? My authoritative. But at the same time, I will listen to what it is you're trying to tell me. I'm not gonna just automatically just get angry and upset with you and and violent, and it just cause too much it just be combative and cause too much grip. You know what I mean? So it's I couldn't answer that question. So that's I'm me as a person, so I can't put myself to be an angry officer.
Okay. Well, I
wouldn't
asked that question only for two reasons. One, have you ever seen the movie Crash?
Mm-hmm.
So you had an officer, a white officer, whose father had a medical condition, who basically, when he took him to the little clinic or whatever else, in my perception, I only saw the movie one time, the black woman who, receptionist or whatever else, said, I ain't got time to deal with it, and then called security on you. Mm-hmm. And he turns around, and because he's mad at the black woman back at the clinic, turns around and accosts this black man's wife in front of him. The only reason that I bring that up, because that movie was pivotal in my life to help me understand that people can do wrong actions, but everybody has a reason why they do what they do. That's why during my years of incarceration, I would sit in baptism classes. I have a child molester over here. I have a gangbanger who you killed 3 people, but you didn't make death row. I have a man over here, you taking people's property and have a history of coming close to raping people. And then I have this gentleman over here who he was just a drug dealer. I just sold keys and destroyed communities. And I would look around the circle and I said, can you guys understand why each other did what they did? I can't understand a child molester. I can't understand them gangbangers. I can't understand them dope dealers. And I said, well, it's awfully funny. The only thing that has all of you here is Jesus. So I said, I'm just going to say this to you. I haven't done everything that everybody's done around this circle, but the reason I can understand each of you, because when I look at my own life, whatever excuses I use for doing the wrong that I've done, I can just say, I know y'all got some excuses. And I said the key word, excuses. I didn't say it was right, it was wrong. And so I appreciate, you couldn't stretch your mind that way, but I know people do things for reasons. And I
So
can't, I'm just looking in the mirror. I can't
right. So
approve of my gang banging partners. And I'm
yeah,
not
you can
saying I
only
approve
speak
of
for
that.
yourself. Right.
Right. So I just look in the mirror and I don't justify. I say I served my time. So am I for justice? I'm for justice. Am I for fairness? I'm for fairness. But to get in a conversation where I can't fathom at all why atrocities are taking place, that's
How would you
foreign to
how
me.
would you handle something like that if you were an angry officer?
Number one, how would I handle it?
Well, I mean, how would you, the same question you asked me.
Okay, I'm angry. Okay, why am I angry? I'm angry.
Yeah, why are you angry?
I'm angry because I'm not making enough money. I'm putting my life on the line. I'm not making enough money. I'm angry because some of the people that I'm supposed to protect, I have no good relations with you when I was in high school. I have no good relations with you when I was in junior high. I have no good relations with you when I've seen you in the malls and the parks. I possibly might have been beat up. I possibly might have been abused. When I look on the TV programs, and I'm just gonna say if I happen to be white, when I look on the TV programs, every other joke is about a white man. But it's okay. I'm looking at white people make jokes about white people, and you say, how could I be angry? I'm like, I don't find that funny. So those are just a few reasons. Oh, and by the way, I'm scared. By the way, I'm scared. Meaning I know I can't physically whoop you. And so y'all talking about put some cuffs on or do whatever else, I'm scared.
So you're in the wrong job. You're definitely in the wrong job. You know what I mean? It's not the same. You used to have officers who run after you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna run after you and chase you down. I remember them days. You know what I'm saying? They were gonna do their job and they'll run after you and catch you. And if they can't, he gone. He done lost that one. He lost them. It's a loss. So why would you shoot him? If he running away, why shoot? Why not shoot him? Why shoot?
We've already established we're not trying to justify any wrong action. That wasn't the question. The question was, and maybe I see it the way I see it because I was a criminal. I deal with criminals. And as criminals, not you, but as criminals, as rape, robbers, murderers, all this, when we change, we want to know why people won't give us a chance. But juries and other people, they like, no, throw away the key. But not to be funny, I had people who advocated for me. You have people who are advocating for the criminal justice system. I'm not talking about for people who are incarcerated innocently. I'm saying when I was guilty, give me another chance. And so I'm just saying that I know different choices that people make can take them to places that they say they never go. Fear and trauma will take you some places you ain't ever been. Trauma could be, Joni, have you ever been frightened by somebody?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been frightened before.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, you have grown men in this nation, all kind of races, that are intimidated and fearful of confrontation. So when you say people who are fearful of confrontation shouldn't have jobs, I don't have a problem with that statement. But it's just like when we go to the store and we see the cashier can't count. The cashier can't count. Why you got a job as a cashier? Why do people join the military and then go over to Iraq and desert?
Because they got those jobs by the skin of their teeth, or they got the job by lying on the application or whatever. So, but they cannot fulfill that job. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. So,
you know what somebody said the other week? I heard something. How many of your friends trying to be a police officer?
Not many.
I'm going somewhere with you. It's signs up all across the nation, and even here in Texas. We're looking for police officers. So good men, I believe that you have some good men as your friend. Good men or good women, I don't want to be a police officer. So we got some bad people who are police officers. We have some good people who are police officers.
Right.
But over here, man, it's a bunch of good people over here. Any of y'all want to be a police officer? No. So who gonna be a police officer?
It's the reputation has been I don't know, depleted. It's just not you protect and serve. That's what you're supposed to do. And the protect is not there. All they doing is serving as excuse my language. They serving, it's what they're serving, we tired of. I know I am. I got sons out there.
For those who are behind bars, ask some of your friends in Florida. Sometimes authority, no matter what the race, corrupts. Because it's a whole bunch of authorities behind the walls that's doing the same thing that's happening outside the walls.
Oh yeah.
But I do love the fact that you said we need to get out and vote, those who can. Different states, different rules, but in Texas, that felony, you will not be voting if you still on parole. Last time I checked.
Well, no, if you have completed your parole.
I said if you on parole.
Right, okay,
you will not be voting last time I checked.
Right, yeah.
So for all of those who are watching this, Joni is advocating when we have an opportunity to make a political statement to get individuals who are for justice as well as judgment.
And that's, a lot of judgment.
About that says them that are in authority, they're not given that authority just to hold it. They're given that authority to execute vengeance on evil, not right, not to misuse, not to hide behind. But I would also advocate what I shared, that get to know people, because no matter what people's professions are, you're going to pass them in the airport, you're going to do some business with them, and you never know what a hello might do. You never know what a hey.
When you say get to know people, are you talking about the authority? You talking about the officers, or are you talking about just people in general?
Authorities are people.
Yeah, people.
No, we're specifically talking about authorities, but I'm saying without a uniform, without a title, they're still people. They're people before they were authorities. Before the president was the president, he's a person. If we just reach out to people, we'll end up touching authorities. We'll end up touching the different people who hold the positions of police officers. And so hopefully
someone hears this testimony. I hopefully that's the people you're talking about that can make change or something, bring something to this.
Well, that's why we're here. That's why I got excited, because I know what you're about. I wouldn't have brought you on here if I just thought you wanted to talk about some music.
But let me say this. I am a woman out here, a Black woman, citizen, productive citizen. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of us that are productive out here. You know what I mean? People have faults. People will make mistakes. You know what I mean? Young people, Black people, Indian people, whatever kind of people. But what I'm seeing, that you had asked me what happened, you seen a shift in the last month. It was an emotional shift that happened, like a trauma, that I'm just overwhelmed with all the death of our people. You know what I mean? So I don't know how we can fix this, or hopefully they get it. Hopefully.
Who is they?
Legislators and the people who are running the police force, commanders or whatever you call them, that are running their force. Maybe they have a little bit of sympathy, empathy of our people that are dying out here. You know what I mean? That's my whole focus. It's just that,
Well, I would give you this hope. I'm not going to mention the state, but it's where you from. So that's if they know where you from. I spoke to an official about a month ago who made this statement. Hey, I'm really trying to put together a program, because punish, discipline, it's not working. And I gave that individual this short testimony. It wasn't official in your state, not your current state. And I gave him this statement. I said, if you keep making the efforts you're making, you may be one voice, and it might be a whole bunch of people ignoring you. But I'm telling you, it matters to people, because I've been in situations where I felt abused. I've been in situations where I felt unfairly treated, and the individuals who at least made an effort to rectify, made an effort to bring about change, I still remember them. And that's what influences me from just going all the way over here and saying, ain't no good people. But I'm also conscious that it's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I would just say that to you, because I haven't been able to reconnect with that individual, but we came across one another, had a good meeting, and they were looking for that. And I was like, I pray that you find that. I pray that you find that.
Well, I'll say each one teach one, and we just got to do better. Has a community, has a state, has a people, has a union. I mean, what happened to the human race? Humanity. I'm just that type of person. All the logistics of it. I understand my place. I understand, people, the different races. I just don't see, things that's happening to Black people is happening to any other race. I don't see it. Not saying I wanted to, but I just wish it would stop. You know what I mean? I just don't see it.
Okay.
Do you see it? Do you see any other races that are being attacked like we are?
Well, do I see it?
Yeah, like
first,
do you see it?
First, I'm gonna say no, but I don't know, and you can correct me. Or I know somebody watching this to correct me. I don't know another nation in the world where 13 or less % of the population has achieved or has as much influence as African Americans in America. I repeat what I said. I don't know any nation where only 13 or less % of a particular race in that nation has made as distinct a difference as African Americans have made in America. So I can't ignore that either.
Okay. That's good, because I just want to see if we're on the same page.
Yeah, with much responsibility, it's going to come a whole lot with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, and I'm happy, and I'm glad, and I'm gonna continue to watch and listen.
Yeah, I see you watching.
I do it late.
I see you watching and listening.
But I wouldn't know what you're talking about if I wasn't watching. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
all that you do, and that you do genuinely care. And in all honesty, my first thought was not this is going to be a great interview. My first thought was I'm glad that anytime that I can give voice, because I believe in you.
I appreciate that.
Anytime I believe I can give voice to you, I respect
to me, right?
I'm going to do that. Okay.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate you even having the dialogue with me, with what my passion is and what I'm talking about. So I appreciate that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay. So we will catch up. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right.